at the bull ring of all bull rings in iRacing. There's a place called Kokomo Speedway in Indiana. It's week number 8, race 7 of the Coast to Coast Racing League fall season. It's time for another edition of Monday Night Madness, presented by the Weekend Speedway. We get set to go here for the B Division Rebels. The Rebels brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. We've got a good show around the corner here tonight in both of our Sprint Cars series. We're so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and the Slide Job Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you alongside Zach Chapman and Brandon Dittmer. Brandon, I'm going to begin with you here. The first time that we have had the new dirt package on Kokomo Speedway, what's it going to be like for the drivers out here? It's going to be a completely different track compared to the last time we were here.
Has it really been a first time? That kind of surprises me. This track, like I said, very, very tight, and I raced a little or practiced a little bit when we did the Raiders, and it's very, very slick. You have to be very careful on your throttle input, otherwise you will go around, hit somebody else, and it will cause absolute mayhem.
Zach Chapman getting set to go for Rebels Racing here. Shaggy, what's it like right now at the moment as you're running the high side on the track?
Well, that's pretty crazy, man. It's two different tracks. I think Brandon admin that last one. In the C race, I led flag to flag and felt really comfortable. This track, it didn't wear the same. Really struggling on entry to one, trying to keep it out of the wall, and that's where you're going to see everybody running the high side tonight, messing up there in 1 and 2. It's going to be real hard to not hit that bump and keep it out of the wall, but you got to get as close to the wall as you can.
Let's talk about the racing. We were off last week due to the World Finals features on Monday night, but we are back. 2 weeks ago, the series was at Port Royal Speedway, and the man that won, I don't think it was a surprise, repeated the win he had from last season, and that was Patrick Spangler. A big lead on Blake Chapman here, Brandon, 423 to 358 in Renegades. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's talk Rebels before we go to Heat 1. It's been a great season for Brandon Templeton, 376 points, just over a 50-point lead on Kurt Schatzer.
Yeah, Templeton's been really racing really well lately, and it's been impressive to watch. Especially over that World Finals, he really got to show what he could do all around. But come back to me.
Okay.
I can't talk right now.
We will. Let's get to it. Let's get to heat race number 1. The first heat, always brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies, quality racing bodies designed by Tim Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Here's how the lineup for heat number 1. Andy Patton on the pole position. The general next to him is Mike Cranmer in car number 70. Row 2, the mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Next to him, the 91 of Kyle Sargent. Row 3, the 02 of Devo, Donovan Ross. Next to him, the Ripper, Lance Ripka in the 125. Row number 4, the Laker, John Krupa in the 5. And Gary Offa in car number 94. Winner starts on pole for our 30-lap feature. Only 2 heats for you this evening before we go into warm-ups. Steve King Foundation pace truck on pit road. Patton's had a lot of success in these past few weeks. We missed Mike Cranmer in the past 2 weeks. Good to see him back with us this weekend. Underway for Heat 1. And Patton gets off to a good jump. Bixler looks for the move up to second, which he does. Cranmer looks for a run around the outside. Just about 3 wide in the center of 3-4, but Bixler sideways. And Kyle Sargent spins onto victory lane. Keeps the car going, though, as he tries to back it up. Offa makes the pass, though. But it is the 87 of Patton that leads. Is Sargent scored the leader?
No, he is not, and he just parked it on the outside. Oh, that sun is blinding. I can't see into 2.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. You just get a little bit loose out of one of these corners, and you hit somebody else, and you just cause mayhem.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was just a brief iRace timing glitch on our end. Ross running the cushion well, but Ripka wants to pull in a run for his money here as the race is on for the position.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing there's enough left in the middle of 3 and 4 that, you know, if you do what Dittmer says, you just got to be careful. You can't get loose on the exit. But there's enough in there that you can still get a middle to bottom work. It's 2 lanes right now.
Ross did have a better lap last time by 11.99 to a 12.43. This time, in a better, still off just a little bit, but it was 11.98 to 12.01. That time, though, Ross cracked the wall entering turn 3. Something you don't want to be doing, as we're already on the white flag of heat race number 1. And it's the General in the Inferno Motorsports, number 87. Patton out in front. Ross looks for one final drive off of 4. Won't get there. Patton wins heat 1. Ross second. Ripka third. Bixler fourth. Krupa fifth. Mike Cranmer loses 6th to Gary Offut as he crashed coming to the checkers. So heat race number 1 is done. We're ready for our second heat race, brought to you by Langdon Mechanical, the official heat and air conditioning company of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Here's the starting lineup. Greg Parmalee is on the pole position. Next to him, it's the 30 of Stephen Goldner. Row number 2, Gentleman Jack Kitt in the 217. And nice to see him back in the number 41. That's Pat Boyce. Row number 3, the 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Next to him, it's the 61 of the Moose, Jake Musso. Rounding out the field, you've got Shaggy Zach Chapman, the 72. No call for Bob Curtis. DeGrid. Did he run? I want to say he may have run in the Raiders race, but don't quote me on that.
He did run in the Raiders race, but I couldn't tell you where he finished.
Gotcha, okay. Well, Zach, best of luck in this heat, all right?
Yep, appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right, so this will determine the outside row of things as we get set to go green. Underway. Oh, Hit makes it 3 wide underneath. Goldner with the preferred corner exit, but it's the Gentleman that takes the race lead early. 4 wide, nearly off at turn number 4. Schatzer and Parmalee briefly bang wheels. Everybody holds on to it. Musso looks for a run off at turn 2. He can't get it, but Goldner takes the lead away from Jack Head, and they're going crazy for third here, Brandon.
There is contact after contact back here. I'm surprised nobody's gone flipping yet, but I love this kind of racing. It's beating and banging, but no feelings hurt.
Musso, Zach Chapman just about ride the wall for a moment. Goldner, meanwhile, has opened up a 6.5 tenths lead on Jack Hitt. Schatzer third. Best race on track here is between Boyce and Parmalee for that 4th position. Normally the final transfer spot under a car count of 24, so everybody makes the show. Let's ride on board here with the 41. Looked for a run outside, and he had to let off the gas as Boyce tries to counter it back downstairs. So we've got 2 to go in heat 2 here, Brandon.
Yeah, and Zach's back there in 6th looking for something and anything. There goes Masso around him as he just kind of got up on that cushion and worked his way around. That cushion's going to be key here.
Found the lane and worked well for the 61. He may have it off at turn number 2. Top shelf for Mama Heights. The Cookies up to 5th, but it's Stephen Goldner that wins heat race number 2. Hit 2nd, Schatzer 3rd, Parmalee 4th, Musso 5th by 800ths on Boyce, Chapman 7th. Alrighty, we're getting right into things. Oshweekett Speedway warm-up watch time here at Kokomo Speedway. We'll step aside, take our first break of the evening. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
There's an immeasurable bond that forms when you join the service. You'll do anything to protect and defend those at your side. And pushing the limits of your well-being is all just part of the job. But when this shared experience ends, it's easy to carry that mission-first mindset with you and neglect your own health and mental fitness. Team Red, White, and Blue understands these challenges and knows that together we can show veterans that their best days are ahead by providing opportunities to build healthier lifestyles right where they live and work. Through races, service projects, workouts, and a cutting-edge mobile app, our members develop a sense of camaraderie and mutual support. With a growing force of over 200,000 strong, we invite all veterans, families, and non-military supporters to start putting their well-being first. Team Red, White, and Blue is forging America's leading health and wellness community. Will you join the team?
for Lucy Olson. She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Ready to go racing here at Kokomo Speedway. Let's meet the field and give you your catalytic recovery starting lineup. On the pole, it's the General, Andy Patton in the 87. Next to him, it's Stephen Goldner in car number 30. Row number 2, Devo Donovan Ross in the 02, and Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Row 3, the Ripper, Lance Rifka in the 125, and Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Row 4, the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75, and Greg Parmalee in the 4. Rounding out the top 10, the Laker, John Krupa, and the Moose, Jake Musso. Row 6, Gary Offutt in the 94, and Pat Boyce in the 41. Row 7, it's Mike Cranmer in car 70, and Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72. Rounding out the field, it's Kyle Sargent in car number 91. Alrighty, Zach, wishing you the best of luck.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
Brandon, before we go racing, who's your pick to win?
Oh boy. Give me Schatzer from 6th.
I go with Schatzer. All right, not bad of a pick. I'm going to go with Stephen Goldner on this one. I believe we've had 3 different drivers with 2 wins this season. Give me he's going to make his first. We're going to have the first 3-time winner this season. All right, set to go racing here at Kokomo. Time for the Lucy Olson start. The General next to Goldner. That's the front row. We're ready to shake and bake at a place called Kokomo. Field makes their way through turn number 3 and 4. Lap 1 up on the board. It's led by Stephen Goldner. Donovan Ross makes the move up to 2nd. Patton back to 3rd. Hit 4th. Schatzer rounds out the top 5. And he's got Ripka to his inside for that 5th position. See if he gets to work through turns number 3 and 4. Schatzer with the beauty of a drive through the center of turn number 3 as he challenges Hit for 4th spot. And Hit got a little bit loose there, Brandon, in turn 2.
Yeah, the inside might be a really viable option here early, especially with everybody trying to get to finding their line. Like I said, like we've mentioned before, it only takes one mess up to go from having a good chance, having a good day, and ending up on the back of a tow truck.
And we've got a good race for the lead. Stephen Goldner against Donovan Ross. Ross took the lead after lap number 2 as he's up there hurling it on the cushion. But Goldner's able to hang on. Shorter way around, and they net code. There's a little bit of a bump by Devo. But Goldner's lap last time by 11:96. He keeps that up. He may be able to run away from this one. But Hit still fourth, Pat in fourth, Schatzer in fifth. And here comes the Moose, Jake Musso on the cushion. But up on the wall he goes there, Brandon.
Yeah, you got to be very careful on this cushion because it's thick in places, but other places it just goes straight to the wall, and you're gonna find some quick
caution
trouble.
flag is out. And Greg Parmalee on his side in the number 4. Our first Gambler Motorsports caution flag waves here tonight. And here's a look at what happened to Parmalee.
Contact with Sargent and then the Tory tire.
Right there, there's contact 1. And the invisible Tory tire hits him. To him, he just couldn't see it one bit. So, all right, quickie on board here with Parmalee. Then we're coming back to the green flag because these yellows here go by in a flash at Kokomo. All right, coming to 1 lap to green here this time by. All right, double file restart. Gollner selects the outside. Ross looks like it's a Delaware double file restart. I don't know why, but Gollner at the same time just trying to make sure he knows when the 30 fires and advantage the 87 as we come back to green, but had to let off of it in center of 1 and 2. Down to 4th he goes. Hit hangs on to 3rd. Can he get the drive off just like what Stephen Gollner did earlier? Yes, he can. Hit edges out Devo for 2nd, but it's a mess behind them, Brandon.
Lots of contact coming out of 4. Zach dropped a couple positions there, and he's falling to the clutches of who is that? Ripka?
Meanwhile, Musso up into 5th. He wants Patton for 4th. And Jack Hitt has a run for the lead on Stephen Gollner here, Brandon. Last time by, Hitt the quickest car on track at an 11:91. He's got a chance to take this lead away.
He's finding something nice there around the bottom. Unfortunately, that time all in the slick. You just have to make sure you hold it down there enough, but somehow also keep enough speed to get a really good run out of there. And he's lost it the last couple laps as he has fallen hard.
Look how slick this track is. Look how gray this track is. Oh no, Zach Chapman. Yellow flag. I was gonna say, look how slick this track is. It's like glass.
Yeah, it slicked off in a hurry, and it's unfortunately just gonna keep getting worse.
Here's a look at what happened. Ooh. Patton shut the door on him, then more contact with Boyce, and a heavy impact for Chapman. Loses the right front tire.
Looks like Patton got really tight into 1 and just went straight up the track.
Yep, they made wheel-to-wheel contact. That gets down to Boyce, and too much on the throttle. Brandon, how would you rate that wheelie?
It's pretty good, but nothing like Dino has done. Dino's wheelies are pretty impressive.
I believe Dino is watching. Hello, if you are. Yes, he is. I just looked at chat. I'm not kidding. Just looked at chat. Thanks for tuning in, Dino. I believe him and the flagger, Dave Farney, they're probably watching from either somewhere at dinner or Dean is watching from his hotel room.
Come on, Dino. You need to be here sometime. Always a busy man, that guy is.
Yes, he is. Getting ready for the World Finals this weekend in Charlotte.
It is this weekend, isn't it?
I can't believe it's the final weekend of racing this year. It's crazy. All right, Gollner back up top, hits 2nd. Here we go, back to green. Let's watch Musso closely as he could have a chance at P2. 4 wide in the center of the corner. Head, meanwhile, looks for the race lead. It's 3 wide for the 4th position. Can gentlemen take it? No. Bad exit off of turn number 4. Gollner hangs on as the cross flags fly. 15 up, 15 down. Schatzer and Sargent racing for the 4th spot. Greg Parmalee takes it to the pits. He's done for the day. But Sargent has something on that bottom, and it could be working out for him. He started in the 15th position, is up to 5th here, Brandon.
Yeah, he's going to that bottom in 1-2, and he's going to actually he's middle both way around, isn't he? That might be the play here. There's a lot of moisture there in the middle around both corners, and it's going to help him out a lot here as he slides up in front of Devo.
And Jake Musso as well, challenging hit for second. Different lines by the drivers. Hit downstairs. Musso all the way up at the attic. Can he get that bite off of 2? The rear bite he needs to get the drive, and he can't.
There's that middle. Gonna get a great run on hit going into 1.
Yeah, it was a bad exit for the driver of the 217. Meanwhile, look at the lead that Steven Goldner has as he's about to approach lap traffic. A full straightaway lead on the 217. Change for 6. Sargent losing some spots here to the 125 of Lance Ripka. The Ripper started in the 5th position. He's been stuck mid-pack all day long. Here we go again for the
Sargent
Moose.
really loose out of 4.
Here's another big run for the Moose for second. So we're on board with them. Nice run on corner exit as Jake Musso moves up to second. Now a 3.2 second lead for Steven Goldner. He's going to need a caution if he wants to get a chance at victory here. The thing is as well with the 30, he is in some lap traffic. But again, a lot of time, not a lot of laps remaining in this one, Brandon.
Yeah, Goldner can just kind of ease his way into a win here as long as, as I said, as long as there's no caution. Ooh.
Musso and Mike Cranmer nearly touch. And Mike's up to the wall.
That was extremely close. Musso's doing what he needs to do to stay calm, not force anything really, and make sure he, in case there is a caution, he is able to make a run for that win at the end.
Kyle Sargent, Lance Ripka having a fun race for the 6th position. Andy Patton also a part of it as we've got 3
Contact!
to go.
Oh no!
Jack hit! Oh no! And he collects Steve-O and Patton. The big one breaks out at Kokomo with 2 to go. Just the yellow that Jake Musso wanted, but let's see what happened if there was contact between the 2.
There was contact. I think Musso came down after he hit the slick onto the front stretch. Those 2 got together, went around, and calamity corner ensued.
Schatzer just misses it. Devo, though, can't dodge the bullet, and that's a 6-car jam session. Let's ride on board here with Gentleman Jack Head. Tough deal, though. You can't even see out of the right side. You have to trust your spotter and what's going on here. Let's go to Devo real quick before we come back to the green. Yeah, you see the slight contact in the background there. Ouch! That's a heavy impact. Alrighty, 2 to go. Steven Goldner leading. Does Jake Musso have anything? Remember, he started from the 10th spot. Bad exit from the 61. Schatzer may have a run on the outside for second. Zach Chapman, where'd he come from? From spinning to 4th as we're on the white flag with 1 lap to go. Steven Goldner in the Velocity Race Designs Vanderbilt Race Cars number 30. Win 3 of the season for Steven Goldner. Musso 2nd, Schatzer 3rd, Zach Chapman 4th, Kyle Sargent 5th. A great recovery from the 72. Who is your hard charger of the race?
Ooh.
And so,
A couple people up 10 spots.
yeah. So Steven gets to park it in Brian Clausen victory lane. And we'll talk with your top 3 in just a moment as we await their arrivals. And let's pull up the results here from you. Here's your top 10. Musso, a nice charge from him from 10th to 2nd. Patton able to finish in 7th. Devo 8th despite being involved in the big accident. Boyce 9th and Offut in the 10th position. But obviously, the tough luck of the race goes to 217 of Jack Het. We've got everyone in the top 3 in the waiting room. So with that, we are set to go to begin the proceedings. And we'll begin with a 218 of Superman Kurt Schatzer. Kurt, from 6th to 3rd, walk us through the day. Kurt Schatzer, you got a copy?
Yeah, sorry, Marty. I had to run out and grab a drink real quick. That was a real fight there. That track got slick, and it was a little hard to handle there. I like to run up high. I struggle when it comes to trying to run low, so I really got to commit to running the high. And there really wasn't a whole lot of cushion there in 1 and 2, and heck, towards the end there in 3 and 4, there wasn't much there either. So we had to kind of feather that throttle coming off. But all in all, it was a good race.
How much fun were those final laps racing Jake and Zach for second?
Well, at first I was a little nervous because it gave Sarge a little opportunity to get up on there and fight me. But I was kind of excited to get a little bit of opportunity to maybe to get another position or two. But I was just trying to see what I can do to salvage some points there. I've been struggling the last couple of weeks with some computer issues and some technical difficulties. So I'm just trying to get that stuff straightened out and get back to the point battle.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Yeah, I got to thank Dirt Track Bank and Jay, everything they do to help racers all around the country and different iRacing series. And I got to give a shout out to Friday Night Lights there. That's kicked off. We had our first week there Friday. So anybody's looking for an extra league to get into, they're a clean bunch of racers over there. Got Your Six Racing Network, all the boys on Hammer Down Racing, Brian, Joe, Templeton, and M9 Performance. I got to give them a special shout out, and Ty Showbrock. And yeah, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them guys. I'm not very good with the sprint car, but I try to do what I can do.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Great job, and best of luck in the Renegades.
Thank you, Marty.
Alrighty, that's your 3rd place finisher in Kurt Schatzer. Now we go to 2nd, and we'll talk with the Moose and Jake Musso. Jake, how about that performance, man? What a run. Where was your car dialed in the best? Jake Musso, you got a copy?
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. No,
You're good.
no, I would think my starting point was probably the wall there. If I didn't run into the wall, if I kept it clean, I think I was pretty fast up there. And then I seen in 3 and 4 the track was going away on the high side, and there was some nice tacky stuff on the, I would say, middle to bottom high side, and my car hooked up there really well, and I could get a real good drive off the corner. But unfortunately, I messed up and cost Jack a podium there. That's on me, 100%. Just want to apologize to him. That was I got a little squirrely on the slick trying to pinch him down, and just ruined his race. Ultimately, it just sucks on my part.
Understandable, but hey, great run for you. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
All the boys at GCAM Racing, Fast Ace Hot Rods, you for a great broadcast, and Coast to Coast for this great league.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Great job. Best of luck in Renegades, all right?
Thank you.
61 of Jake Musso finishing 2nd. Now we go to Victory Lane to talk with your winner in the number 30. Steven Goldner gets it done. Steven, what a car, man. It was not easy, though, having challenges from Ross, having challenges from Het, and having challenges from Musso.
Yeah, I just didn't know where to be at certain times. Ross kind of showed me the bottom there. I stayed down there for a little bit, and then seemed like it was getting pretty thin, so I moved back up to the top, and the car was working really good. I got to thank Lacey for the setup today. He did a bunch of testing today, and I really appreciate that.
Were you surprised that the bottom worked a lot better than the top with this new dirt track package that we've been using?
Kinda, but not really. Like I put probably 250 laps in after work today with Lacey, just trying to get stuff figured out. And I knew we could hit the bottom. It just really took a lot of patience, which is easy to do in practice, but it's a lot tougher to do when you're, battling for wins with some of the best guys in Rebels. So, we could do it. It's just having to put those laps down and making sure they're close to perfect.
What do you expect for this Renegades race coming up in about a half hour?
I, I mean, from what I hear, Blake Chapman's pretty quick, so we'll be chasing him. Hopefully, we can have a good battle with him. Hopefully, the track's 2 lanes like it was in this Rebels race, and hopefully put on a good show for the fans.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
All the guys that Bandy built, especially Lacey and Moonin, and all those guys. Ross Burnett, Velocity Race Designs, Fits Perfect Photography, Moonin Racing Engines. You guys for the broadcast, and Roger and everyone with Coast to Coast Racing Leagues.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Congratulations, a great win, and best of luck in this Renegades race coming up.
All right, thanks a lot.
That's your winner, Stephen Goldner in Victory Lane. We'll be right back, folks. Renegades coming up in a half hour. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit of fun talking with you on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stay tuned.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
For Lucy Olson, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Scale alongside Zach Chapman and Brandon Dittmer. We're 20 minutes away from Renegades action here. While we wait, let's know what you're thinking of the racing so far and what else you wanna talk about just for fun. Zach, Brandon and I were talking about earlier that we could not believe that this is the final weekend of racing this year. Can you believe it?
No, yeah, it's really sad time for sure, but before we know it, it'll be back next year, but it's definitely sad, but I'll be rooting on the Shark Racing boys this weekend for sure.
Well, let's see here. On my mind, when it comes to points this weekend for the Sprint Car Series, it'd be crazy if Brad Sweet had an issue on night one of the World Finals to finish in the rear, and David Gravel close in to make the points interesting. Like, no disrespect to Brad Sweet, he's a great he's a great champion, but it'd be cool to see David Gravel get one done.
Yeah, it would be, and I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't say it publicly, but what with Brad buying the Circuit of Champions with Larson, I'm sure they probably are hoping he has some troubles and David pulls it out.
Nah, we're not gonna say that. We wish both drivers the best and hope none of them have issues. What do you guys think, Brandon? What do you think about the NASCAR Championship 4? First on the Cup side, Larson, Bell. So the dirt guys were the first two to make it in, and then Byron and Blaney.
It's going to be a fun race to watch out of Phoenix. Blaney pulling it off there at Martinsville to secure himself a spot was impressive to watch.
I was so happy to see him win.
Absolutely. That kid's going to do great things, and he's already done great things, but I think this is his first championship 4. That's what I thought.
So that was a feel-good win.
It was a feel-good win. As a Hendrick fan, I hope Larson or Byron pull one out, but as an all-around fan, I really hope to see Blaney get one.
All I just hope is that we get a really good race. Would love to see a first-time champion, but I love who's in the championship 4. Wishing each of them the best of luck here. Zach, what do you think?
I mean, obviously, at the championship, it isn't the way I grew up, but you race according to the rules, and the chase. I think it really fits into the dirt driver mindset, where they kind of just at the end, once they made it, it's time to sling it out and go for it, get yourself a win and lock yourself in. And I love Kyle Larson in those races. I mean, he's going to drive an IndyCar next year for a reason. I mean, the guy can drive anything, and it's going to be a tough one to beat.
I still think, though, this race this weekend is going to come down to qualifying and track position. And Larson's the better qualifier at Phoenix, so I feel like Larson's going to get his second title. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he didn't. I shouldn't say shocked, but I would be a little surprised that he's just. I mean, he's hot right now, and it's hard to not pull. Think the guy's gonna win when he's got momentum on his side.
Something crazy to think about as well is the ages of the drivers. Normally, we've seen a lot of veterans be in the championship 4, like Truex or Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick be in the championship 4 like they have many times in the past. The oldest driver in the championship 4 is 31, and that's Larson. And Larson and Bauer each in their second championship 4, while Blaney and Byron are in their first. It's crazy to think about that, but it just shows you that the young gun era is finally taking over in the sport. And that's nothing against the veterans. I love what they've done. I love watching them. I actually hope, though, that Kevin Harvick goes out this weekend and actually wins Phoenix. That's what my heart says when it comes to a pick to win.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, I remember sad times, but when Earnhardt passed away and he got his, I believe it was Rockingham, he got his first win. Yeah, right?
Atlanta, he won.
Atlanta was his first win in that white car, and I mean, it's just going back to, he's been around my whole childhood, and just to see him walk away with a win would be, that'd be quite the dream.
What'd you guys think about what happened in the Xfinity race in those final laps? Holy moly. Brandon, what'd you think?
Trying to remember what happened. I saw clips of it, but I didn't watch it.
Hill and Creed decided to bang with each other, bump and bang with each other in the overtime restart, and Allgaier took the win.
I mean, that's on Hill. I think
That's clearly on Hill.
Yeah, I mean, I think I shared my opinion with you, but I mean, you know, it's kind of, I look at it as, I mean, if F1 had a chase, I mean, could you imagine if,
Holy moly.
you know, George Russell's already got a win and he's locked in the chase, and there's Mercedes teammate Hamilton's running second. I mean, it wouldn't even be a thought. He would have pulled over laps before and played defense. And I mean, it is what it is. You got to go for your own, but I mean, you can't blame Creed. He's trying to race his way in, and you're going to bump at Martinsville. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Look, I get Austin Hill wants a win. At the same time, though, if he finishes second, he's okay. If he doesn't make that side slam into Creed, I don't think there's any issues. Yes, it's Martinsville. You'll bump and bang, but you can't blame that on Sheldon Creed. And for what Richard Childress said, that needs to be an internal issue. I hope it was resolved today in the team meetings on Monday. But that's just, you can't be saying that publicly, that a driver is stupid, especially for when he's going for a win and he didn't even do anything. So it kind of shows you a little bit on what our RCR is thinking about, you know, especially with Hill being in the 21 for next year and Sheldon Creed going somewhere else.
Yeah, it kind of shows the sad side of NASCAR now, where, you know, kind of whoever's got the money backing him, that's kind of who you're rooting for and pulling for. And it just sucks knowing that he didn't have a ride anymore with the team. He's the easy scapegoat to call out. But yeah, you're right. Hopefully he apologized, and hopefully going forward he maybe talks to a publicist before he makes any statements like that.
I mean, RCR does, but I mean, at the same time, Richard Childress is, you know, RC can be RC, you know. we have known that for many times, like such as the hold my watch to Kyle Busch. But it's going to be interesting. I feel like that we could see some big news come out this weekend. And the reason why I say that is I look at the media availability schedule this weekend. Let me see if I can find it. It came in my emails yesterday. But I feel like that we're going to get a big announcement Saturday regarding the track. Could be something related to Kevin Harvick, but then again, Harvick speaks at 4. But I just feel like we've seen the past few years, something big news-wise is going to happen, whether it be somebody to a new ride or if there's something big happening when it comes to the calendar or anything like that. I don't know what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, anxious to see. I hope it's not anything along the lines of, did you guys see Danica was interviewed I think about a week ago and was saying that NASCAR needs to cut their race lengths down to draw more interest. I really hope that doesn't happen.
So here's my take on it. I like the Daytona 500. I like the Coke 600. I like the Southern 500. But like when I was at over nearly 10 years ago, I was at Charlotte for the playoff race. That was a 500-mile race. I was nearly bored out of my mind. The Texas races do not deserve to be a 500-mile race. That's just bores fans, 334 laps. I like that it's 400-mile races. I actually prefer 400-mile races at intermediates over 500-mile races, unless it's something special. Like, yeah, ovals, obviously, those are obviously 300-mile races with higher lap counts to try and make it fit the 3-hour length, and also at the same time you will have the cautions. But I thought when I saw that, I thought Danica was talking F1 first, and I actually love F1 lengths, which are 90-minute races.
Yeah, F1, they seem to have a good mix to it, too. And I think NASCAR's at the point where they would be like F1, where the tire life, you would still see enough pit stops. And, I mean, it would be interesting, but I don't know. Then do they get into start adding sprint races and stuff like that, for, like F1 does, for more money opportunities? Because at the end of the day, you know, if they cut it down, they still want their commercial money and all that. So that's what it comes down to.
Just have to see what happens, I
Gentlemen?
guess. Go ahead, Brandon.
That was Dino.
Oh, that was Dino? Oh, hello. We have an invader calling
What
all
is
the
up,
way from
guys?
Charlotte. What's up, Dino?
Well, actually, Concord, North Carolina at the Wingate watching you guys in the World Series.
Nice, nice. Who's winning that World Series matchup right now?
0-0, top of the third.
Okay. Brandon's got the damn Monday Night Football game on in the background. I can see. I don't know why he doesn't have the World Series on his TV.
I don't watch baseball.
Okay, bye.
Marty just left, everybody. So I think we're going to have to take this over.
How can you not watch the Fall Classic, Brandon?
Baseball is boring to watch for me. It's boring.
Yeah, but when it's the World Series, though, the crowd alone kind of sparks it.
Exactly.
If the Cubs are in the World Series, I'll watch.
So you watched the World Series in 2016, I'm assuming?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, that was a fun
and I will
World
not
Series.
and I will not be able to watch it again before I die. So
that was one of the top 10 best World Series.
That was a great World Series.
Yes.
The 2016 World Series, in my opinion, will be my favorite World Series ever.
I will forever remember our athletic director in high school playing the Go Cubs Go song after the day they won over the school intercom. I can't talk today. I don't know what that's about.
I will never forget, in my opinion. I will never forget when it was the first Cubs game of the World Series in so many years, and I think it was Bill Murray singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in the style of Daffy Duck. I may have to watch that tonight now. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite renditions.
It's got to be on
ever.
YouTube.
Oh, it is. It is. I'm not gonna play it right now because of copyright.
Hey, not to change the subject here,
Go
Dino,
for it.
but were you down? You're down there at Charlotte. Were you there the other night when that 11-year-old kid won?
Oh my God! Yes, because we were part of the short track with our Sportsman and Pro Stocks, and I didn't know who it was. And when he won, and then the crowd that was there was going nuts and everything. All of a sudden, our command center was in the tech area, so the late model pulls in, and the driver starts climbing out of the car, and he climbs through the window, and it's like I can't say midget because we have to be politically correct here. It's like a little person got off a bar stool and just dropped to the floor and went. The dude stands like 3'4".
Unbelievable! I couldn't believe the picture you have him standing on the car. It was crazy.
We're Googling and everything else. We found out he's 11 years old, and it's so cool though. I mean, the kid is so humbling, and everything else. It was really neat. But I mean, that's so cool for the sport in general. I know there's people out there that say, 11-year-olds don't belong in full-size race cars. You know what though? He's 11 years old. He's probably got 6 years experience. In racing in general. He came from Millbridge. Anyone that can run Millbridge flat out in those outlaw carts can drive anything.
Yeah, that was quite an impressive showing to watch. It wasn't given to him either. He really had to work for it. He drove the wheels off that thing.
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool. We lost Dittmer.
Oh, nope. I think he went AFK. I think he went to go grab another drink. Because I see his glass is empty. Just saying.
Yeah, well,
I went to go. I went to go grab a different
bring
drink.
the glass with him.
If you go grab a different drink, Brandon, why don't you bring the glass with you?
Because I don't need a glass.
Oh yeah, you've got a can. I have a bottle. Gotta support the Land of Legends Raceway fam. Ah, there we go.
Zero.
We got Pepsi.
I can't. See, regular Pepsi is my favorite. I can't do any other kind of Pepsi.
Mountain Dew is my favorite, but my wife doesn't drink it, so I settle for Pepsi.
I love Pepsi Zero Sugar. It tastes so much better than regular Pepsi.
I've tried that zero sugar. I've tried diet. I've tried just about everything. It's just not right.
I'll drink diet if I want to. It's not a good taste as zero sugar.
So is Goldner going to do the double tonight? He looked good.
Steven,
He is in
I
here.
think he could. Only thing is, though, he has to try and take out Blake Chapman, and he has to take out Patrick Spangler.
Yeah, but when he just said that the Vanderbilt guys are now getting serious, and he did 250 laps of practice. I don't do 250 laps in a month, and he did practice. That's scary. That means the Vanderbilt boys, we're going to call them boys because they haven't really stepped up yet, are getting serious still.
That they
So
are.
it was only a matter of time before they had finally set their feet and really dug into this new rework.
Yeah, well, and we all get busy in this. It's a time of the year now where iRacing is going to be more of a focus for some. So you got a feeling that you're right. It wasn't. They weren't going to sit on the sidelines long. Although you got to give it to Blake. Ever since his new build, Blake has just embraced it, challenged it, got it. And I mean, in any division. I mean, I'm watching him in late models now, and he's going to win in late models. Darn kid, you better give out more free popcorn. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, all the interviews he does now, because I was going to cut you off and say the same thing. It's not just the sprint cars he wins in now.
God, it's everything.
It's everything. So, I mean, Galen's gets on the C2C broadcast 6 or 7 times a week.
Well, let's.
Yeah, but you know what? He's earned it.
Yeah, he has. Well, let's pull up the race of the moment. Yes, bear with us. Yes, we know that we had to go black briefly for a second, but let's show this up here. And I gotta save the Rebels graphics and pull in the Renegades graphics here. I forgot about that. But Tyler Wilson, currently the quickest at 10:48, and I feel like as well, guys, that that Bullring tracks. I think that's the Macho Man's favorite track. Would you agree, guys?
Which track?
Bullring tracks like Kokomo.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Zach, would you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think it's just maybe par for their setup, because I'd almost think the same way about Patrick Spangler. The smaller tracks, he's always towards the front. Not that he struggles at bigger tracks, but he just the smaller ones. Him and the Macho Man, they're really good.
Dean,
I think Spangler in Knoxville though, he has that place down.
Yeah, Dino. Before we get going here, you got to pick to win.
Well, Texas is up 3-0, so I'll pick them to win the game. You know what? Because I can't really commentate because the YouTube is always like a minute delay here. I'm gonna go with Goldner. I mean that he just, he didn't even know where to run, and he still won. And then when he said that Lacey built the set and he's got practice, I'm gonna go for the double.
All right. We'll save the other two picks and my pick for later on before we go racing for the feature. There you see the times, and Wilson better by about 700ths on Spangler. Stephen Goldner, 9th quickest at the moment. Car count of 19 drivers with us here this evening as we get set to go. Let us know, by the way, in the chat who you were rooting for. Dean, by the way, also before we let you go, how excited are you for this weekend?
I'm real excited. Other than tomorrow night where we got a little weather coming in, it's going to be perfect weather. They're talking sunny every day. I got 42 big blocks pre-entered, so we're going to be right around probably 45 for the event.
That's
awesome. You get to see the Outlaws. Yeah, and you get to see the Outlaw Sprints and the Outlaw Late Models. And there's going to be a couple iRacers down here, too, as well. So, hopefully I'll get to meet up with some more coast-to-coast folks and, have some fun. But this trip's always one of my favorites.
Well, after Knoxville and hoping to get to the Chili Bowl, the World Finals is on my bucket list. So, all righty, Dino.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
And always put down St. Louis too, because I think me and Isaac are going to do St. Louis for the Dome.
Okay. All right. May have to keep that in mind too. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man.
All right, guys.
Good to hear from you. Have a good weekend. All right.
All right, guys, and we'll see you next Monday. I'll be back.
Awesome. Sounds good. That's Dean Reynolds, our good
See you,
friend,
Dean.
getting ready to go for Road Finals this weekend. Meanwhile, we are ready to go for heat races. Heat 1 brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Let's give you your starting lineup. On the pole position, Barry Goldner in car number 36. Next to him, it's the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row number 2, it's Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72. And the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. Row 3, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Next to him with a brand new hot paint scheme, that's the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11. Rounding out the field, the captain, Gary Taylor in car number 34. Alrighty, Zach, wishing you the best of luck in this heat.
Yeah, gonna need it. Look at that high line in row 1 and 2. Wow, hopefully I can keep up with them.
Absolutely. All right, man. Best of luck. All right, 1 to go before the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off. Actually about to pull off in a half a straightaway. Believe we have 3 heats set this evening. If not 2, winner starts on the pole position for our 35-lap feature. Barry Goldner, Patrick Spangler, bring us to green. Heat 1 is green. And 3 wide for the top spot. It's Barker peaked low. Spangler gets away with the lead, and he may be gone from this one. Wilson on the outside looks for second as Barker and Goldner nearly touch. Sideways is Cote with a beautiful save. Meanwhile, Barker trying everything to get that top spot, but I just don't see how he's going to get it done here, Brandon.
Yeah, that topside momentum, especially with how smooth Patrick is going to be hard to try to get around him. He's going to have to hope for a mistake from Patrick, otherwise he's going to be in the dust here.
Let's remember, though, how Stephen Goldner was able to get the lead in the feature. Thanks to the bottom side working out. Could it possibly work out here for the heat races or even the feature? We'll have to see. Spangler with a new quickest lap, 11:51, but Barker wasn't too far behind. And they're side by side. Spangler in the wall, not what he wants to do. Barker goes to the point at Kokomo.
There's that dangerous wall. He gets it again. Ooh, that's getting ugly now.
Yeah, this is not good for Spangler, and Wilson taps it with the right rear sneaker. 2 to go in Heat 1, and Wilson wants to get up to second, so he peeks underneath. But how about the Brewerton Beast? Started 5th in this heat, 1 lap away from starting on the pole for tonight's feature. Spangler in the wall again in turn number 2. May have to Hail Melon this one through 3 and 4. He can't do it. Barker wins the heat. Wilson goes around. Can he finish in 30? Can barely over Zach. 4 Americans, top 3 Canadians. How do you like that? We hope to do that in hockey in a couple years from now. Alrighty, let's move to Heat 2, brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Here's a look at the starting lineup. The Flying Fry on the pole in Kevin Fry. Next to him, it's Ross Carina. The boss is in the 10. Row number 2, it's Bob DeGood in the number 7. Next to him, it's John Short. Shorty's in the 51. Rounding out the field, Stephen Goldner in car number 30. And the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, in car number 07. Alrighty, Zach, what'd you think of that heat?
Sorry, I started eating a bagel. It was a pretty good heat, but tough to hit the top in 1 and 2. I heard you guys talking. I think Patrick hit the wall a couple times. I was too far back there to see it, but it's definitely tough to run the top in 1 and 2. But that middle high side that Massa was talking about in 3 and 4 last race, it's definitely there right now. That's what helped me get by Cramner, and I was reeling the guys in front of me. People are going to want to look to try that out here.
All right, so you guys want a fun fact on Jeff Barker? His first ever pole in the Renegades. His best starting spot prior to that was a 5th that came at Charlotte on May 9th last year. So ready to go.
We're rooting for you.
So ready to go for heat race number 2. Green flag is out. Fry gets the jump. Here comes a run by Corinna on the outside. 3 wide. They squish Bobby good. Goldner nearly goes around. 4 wide before they cross the line. Corinna has the edge for second, but Fry leads. What a start to this one, Zach. Here we go for good. They make contact.
Yeah, I think Kevin maybe just didn't know Bob was there. I don't think Bob really floated up into him, just kind of running a line there. And it's real tough to react when the guy snaps down in front of you. But Kevin was just trying to get to the bottom.
3 wide further back. Corinna loses third after leading lap number 2. And it's to good that's out in front. Quickest car, though, is John Short with an 11.52. And he's all over the tail tank for the lead here, Brandon.
Yeah,
oh, no!
Oh, stay on. Oh.
Dang it.
Devastation for the good.
I think we all agree that we were in our hearts rooting for Bob DeGood to win that one. That would have been a hell of a front row.
You would have won a lot of money if you put Barker and Bob DeGood in the front row. No offense to either of them, but I don't think we've ever had that front row before.
That would have been front row agami. So John Short, luckily in the second position still. Stephen Goldner wants to run high, wide, and handsome for P2 off of 4. Short shuts the door, but they need to make contact. He sends it deep. Short goes sideways. He saves it. Cranmer could have a chance at third. Their teammates keep in mind. And off of 4, Ross Carreno wins a breathtaking heat. Goldner second, Short third, Cranmer fourth, Fry fit to good sixth.
Yeah, Goldner used that middle high line there in 3 and 4 and got a huge run on Shorty, and he just didn't know he was going to be there when he tried to run low, but Goldner was already there.
Alrighty, we do have one more heat to go. Heat 3 brought to you by Top Notch Trucking in Minot, North Dakota. The service is always top notch. The official trucking service of the Coast to Coast Racing League. The official logistics provider of the Coast to Coast Racing League. In real life, we should say. In real life. On the front row, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161. Next to him, it's the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20. Row number 2, the Moose, Joe Musso in the 63. And the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Row number 3, Cody Graham in the 2. Still waiting on Jesse Bandy. I don't know if he's going to make the call to grid. Alrighty, Brandon, best of luck in this heat.
Thank you.
So Bandy does make the call to grid, and we are 2 laps away from going green here.
You know, it's real easy to pick Blake Chapman here, Marty, but the bottom has looked okay, and you know as well as I do, that 161 is one of the best cars we have at running the bottom, so maybe Terry could surprise us here and pull off a win.
He's always an underdog at this at any track in the Coast to Coast Racing League.
I think anybody but Stephen Goldner's an underdog when Blake Chapman's starting beside you.
Alrighty. Getting set to come to the green this time. Winner starts inside of row number 2. Landis and Chapman, the teammates, the Galen's teammates, bring us to the green flag under a beautiful sunset. CC Dean Reynolds. Landis gets out to a good jump. Bandy taps the wall gently off of turn number 2. He has a huge run in the center of 3 and 4. Keeps his foot on the gas. They're nearly 4 wide. Across the line as Landis leads the opening circuit. Here's a run for Chapman for second on Graham. Can he get it off of turn number 4? Seems like a good answer. It is. Chapman to P2 here, Zach.
Yeah, he I think heard the motor behind him of Bandy coming, and he moved up to the top, and he's coming fast, but I'm anxious to see if Terry can keep hooking up and maybe slide a tail tank up in front of him here coming out of 2, because that's where Blake's going to get big runs.
Look at all the yaw from Landis. That's like a modified type yaw. A lot more yaw than you normally see out of a sprint car, and it seems like it's cost him time as the 2 are side by side.
Yeah, there especially on 3 and 4. He just didn't hit it.
Dittmer! Dittmer crashed it. It's really time for him.
Yeah.
But as you were saying with Blake, as he tries to clear for the lead.
He just hits that middle line in 3 and 4 so perfect. He's right there on the new little berm that we've created. We've almost got two lines there, and he's just hitting it, and that's where Terry needs to go. He needs to get that rear tire out of the slick there on exit. He's just running a little too low.
Final lap underway. Real quick, Brandon, did you do a wheelie?
I nailed that inside tire.
Oof. Jesse Bandy, quickest car on the track that last lap, but it's Blake Chapman that wins Heat 3. Landis, Bandy, Graham, Musso, Dittmer. That's how the field looks.
Yeah, Blake won that one, but Terry, he's going to be kicking himself because he did a pretty good job on the bottom line, but for the 2 laps that Blake was right behind him, he didn't let Blake pull away, and I bet you he's going to be kicking himself for making those mistakes.
Alrighty, warm-up time here, brought to you by Oshweekend Speedway. When we come back, it's the 35-lap feature. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olson? She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Warm-ups in the books. Blake Chapman is the quickest. We are just about ready to go racing. 35 laps here at good old Kokomo Speedway. Let's meet the field, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the Catalytic Recovery starting lineup. On the pole, the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Next to him, it's the boss, Ross Carina in the 10. Row number 2, the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20. And next to him, it's the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row 3, Stephen Goldner in the 30. Next to him, it's the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161. Row 4, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. And John Shorty is in the 51. Rounding out the top 10, the Bandy Belt Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. Next to Shaggy, Zach Chapman in the 72. Row 6, the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Cranmer in the 07. And Cody Graham in car 2. Row 7, Barry Goldner in the 36. And the Flying Fry, Kevin Fry in the 21. Row 8, the Moose, Joe Musso in the 63. And the Captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. Rounding out the field, Bob DeGood in the 7. Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkey in the 83. And the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11. All right, boys, time for picks. Who's getting it done? We'll start with you, Brandon.
Oh, boy. I'm going to take my boy Macho Man.
Zach?
This is Blake's home, or close to Blake's hometown, right? Near it?
Yes.
Yep. I can't read against Blake.
Give me the boss, Ross Carino. Gentlemen, wishing you guys... I said Ross.
No, Zach. You say
Yeah.
it's Blake's home track?
Isn't it near where he's at?
He's
Blake's from Iowa.
Yeah, isn't... I don't know. I'm not a dang geography major.
Indiana.
Alrighty, boys.
Well, Blake's going to win either way. How about that?
All right,
Fair
boys.
enough.
Best of luck, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we come to green. We say, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Showtime in Kokomo. Good jump from Barker as the field makes their way through turns number 3 and 4. Spangler, the first guy in the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Can't lead lap 1 just yet. It's led by the 513, but a big mess further on back. 2 and 3 wide. Spangler, a big run off at turn number 2. He takes the lead here at Kokomo. Behind Barker, Goldner underneath on Blake Chapman for the 3rd position. Goldner tried to get low on Barker and couldn't get that one to work. Ross Carina cracks the top 5 of the number 10, but he clips the wall. Zach Chapman may look for a run underneath. He can't get that one to work, though. And Spangler is pulling away. He's got the only 11-second lap of the moment. 11:87 for the high side Bangler. Blake Chapman dancing with the double off of 4, moves up to P2. He just ran an 11:85 that last lap. Best lap that anybody's had. Barker behind him at 12:26. Yellow lights are on. Jesse Bandy has spun it. Started from the 9th position. We are hearing Preston Cranmer was also involved in this accident too. We said it's just a mess further back. Contact with Fry. Dittmer runs in the back of him. And then as Cote was sideways, Preston Cranmer had absolutely nowhere to go. Let's ride on board with the Ayla Outlaw. You see Bandy in front of him. There's the contact there as he tries to avoid it. Cote just makes wheel-to-wheel contact. He couldn't control his race car. Slides up into Cranmer. So first Gambler Motorsports yellow out in this feature. Now we're able to bunch them up here. 1 lap to the green flag. Spangler selects the outside. A lot like what Steven Goldner did, who's on the outside of row number 2 and 4th. Chapman underneath. We're going to watch this restart from the Chapman Racing drone as we come back to the green. It's a Mission 22 restart. Blake Chapman may try the slider off at 2. It was like a narrow arc he tried to make. He stays side by side in the center. Goldner to the 2nd spot. Blake Chapman back down to 3rd. It's 3 wide briefly as Zach Chapman is up on the wall. Cody Graham and Joe Musso have crashed. They're hooked. 2nd yellow is out. And let's see what happened between the GKM teammates. Oh boy. Cranmer makes contact with the 2, came up in the 2, and Joe Musso has nowhere to go. That's going to make things interesting for tomorrow's truck race. Or any of the asphalt races tomorrow. That's with Cody. Wheel-to-wheel contact. Let's go to Joe real quick. At a bad exit, then gets swallowed up. So Graham uses a quick repair, gets back onto the racetrack. So Goldner on the outside, Blake Chapman 3rd, Zach Chapman 4th, Jeff Barker rounds out the top 5, ready to come back to green to put 7 laps in the books. Goldner kind of timed that restart well with Patrick Spangler. Let's see if he get a run on the outside off of turn 2. Race for 2nd is on. Tries to thread the needle. 3 wide for the top spot. Spangler hangs on and leads for 2nd. Way too close to call. I think it was Goldner over Blake Chapman, but the field was 2 by 2 coming off at turn number 2. Lone guy downstairs is Blake Chapman. He's got company from the other Chapman, non-related Shaggy for P3, but he taps the wall. That could help out Barker. Moved back into 4th. May even lose the spot because here comes Carrera. High, wide, and handsome. He decides to thread the needle. Runs it underneath on Blake Chapman. Doesn't throw the slide job, but the salesman taps the wall in turn 2. Hangs on to 4th spot for now. Steven Goldner's got company for P2 with Zach Chapman all behind him. Meanwhile, new quickest lap of the race, Patrick Spangler in 11:81 for the leader in the Training Wheels Racing, number 39. Let's go back to P2. Zach in the wall. Blake could close in, and caution's out for Terry Landis. Oh, and Zach goes around off of Corinna. Keeps it. No, he doesn't keep it straight. Wilson's caught up. Fry's caught up. And in the tire is Chad Cote. A lot of extracurricular activity after the yellow was thrown for Terry Landis. Teammates make contact. Now I'm interested in what they're going to do with Zach Chapman. I think he kept it straight. But Blake just got on the back of him by mistake, and Wilson, who had the fastest car in practice, flies in. They were nowhere to go. Kevin Fry also in it. But because of the yellow, they all will be able to retain their spots unless they come onto pit road. Ready to come back to the green flag. Bad restart for Steven Goldner. Here's a run from Chapman for P2. Let's see if he can get it to work off the corner. And the answer is yes. Now does he throw a slide job? Decides not to do so. Very risky to throw a slide job at Kokomo as Carrera now moves into the second spot. Highest position he's been in today. Chapman with a better run on corner exit. Chapman better in 1 and 2. Carrera much better, though, in 3 and 4. How about the run for Cote and the Goose while spinning? He's up 13 spots. Started from last. Great run from him as we are halfway. And Goldner wants to dance with the 10 for second. Let's go on board for the rear end of Zach. Cote tries to throw the needle 3 wide. Terry Landis has crashed, no caution. We stay under the green flag, and there he is in the wall. And now he comes to a halt, bringing out the Gambler Yellow once again. Here's what happened to the Desert Demon. Second incident he's been involved. Oh, I think he clipped that Tory tire and lost all of his steering, and nothing he could do. He had to bring the yellow out, and then the throttle hung on him. Lost the top wing for a couple seconds. All right, so we're ready to come back to the green flag just past the halfway point. Big run for Chapman, but gets the door shut at a big chance at second. Decides to thread the needle for P2. Can he get past Ross Carrera off the corner? He can't. The boss hangs on to the second spot. Steven Goldner may lose 4th to Chad Cote, who's on the outside as Landis pulls it into the infield. He's done for the night. Here comes John Short as well in the 51, running 6th. But everyone wants to run the outside. Nobody taking a risk downstairs for now at the moment. Blake Chapman wants the second spot from Ross Carrera. And remember, him and Spangler likely going to battle for the championship at the end when the drops come into play. So Chapman does not want to be finishing third to Spangler. So we're coming to 12 laps to go this time here at Kokomo. The Goose with company from Steven Goldner. And Goldner started 5th, had a good car earlier on this evening, but now could be fading. Debris on the track in turn number 2 for the front wing. Everyone trying to make sure they don't hit it because that could lead to some damage. Chapman low, no for second. But he has made the swap up top. Cote, beautiful run on the top shelf to take 4th spot away. Chapman can't be wasting any time here, but Carino went down low. That could cost him because Chapman up top to 2nd. And with under 10 laps to go, he's hoping for a yellow flag because it'll put us into a single file restart for the rest of this race. Brandon Dittmer takes her in the pits. Actually, he may not have. I think it was just a glitch on our end. Now he crashes. I think he brings it into the pits now, and I think that's the situation. But now look at all the lap traffic that the leaders will have to endeavor. 2.2 second lead for Patrick Spangler, and he's making lap traffic look easy. So we're coming to 6 laps to go. Now tries to put a lap on Blake Chapman. The 20 car will need a caution flag if he wants to get back in the hunt. Cote and Goldner racing for the 4th position. No one, unless Cote wrecks, is going to get him for that hard charger position. He may want to break in the podium here on Carino. We'll have to see what happens. 4 laps to go. Oh, Barry Goldner nearly pinches off the 11. Tyler Wilson has crashed. No caution. He puts it in the pits. We stay green. Chapman I think, was caught 3 wide for just a moment. But 2 laps to go for the Training Wheels Racing number 39. Will be back-to-back wins for him as he has 0.2 of a mile remaining from another win in Renegades competition. It will be win number 3 of the season. Most wins in Renegades. He breaks the tie with Blake Chapman. Spangler takes her to victory lane at Kokomo. Blake Chapman 2nd, Carino 3rd, Steven Goldner 4th, Chad Cote 5th, and Spangler left half the field on the lead lap, over half the field on the lead lap. Give it up for Cote, the hard charger from last to 5th. Well done by the Goose. So your top 3. Pose for a photo. Got you boys unmuted while we pop up the results. What'd you guys think of the race? Zach, I saw you went up 4 spots. Brandon, not your day, man.
I despise quarter miles.
Zach, how about you?
I think I may get an apology from somebody tonight, but I actually think I had a top 3 car. I was still really fast, and I had a lot of damage after I was hit there.
Let's get to your top 3 here, and we'll begin with the boss, Ross Carino, who finishes 3rd here tonight. Ross, sorry to cut you off there from them. Walk us through your race here tonight.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing was just to try to keep it off the wall. Car felt okay, didn't get a whole lot of practice. This is kind of a technical track. If you can't run the top very well, keep it right on that wall. It sometimes can be kind of tricky.
Absolutely can, man. Other than that, other positives you take away from tonight?
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously, it'd be nice to get a win here, but running 3rd to those 2 guys is no slouch in this league. So I guess I'll take it. Like I said, gotta try to get some more laps, and it's nice to be back with you guys. Had harvest stuff take over, and did a couple Pro Series races. So hopefully should be back here full time now, and maybe I can see if I can run up there with those boys more often.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
I'd like to thank the Phantom Motorsports guys, the Vanderbilt guys, M9 Setups, Velocity Race Design, Power Outdoors, Weichel Sportswear, you guys for putting on the show, and everybody behind the scenes making this league work.
Alrighty. We'll let you go, man. Great job tonight. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Ross Corona finishing third. Let's go to Blake Chapman finishing second. Blake, how badly did you want a caution to come out in those final 10 laps?
And I needed it. I just needed it. So Patrick had like a 2.5 second gap. I knew that I was going to need a caution no matter how fast I was on this 1-lane track. But oh yeah, what really hurt me was just getting stuck on the bottom every single restart. It was just 1 lane on the top the whole race, and you're stuck on the bottom. It's it's a huge disadvantage. So I felt really good in the car. I felt like I had a good setup underneath me. It was really fast all night, and especially at the end, I was really putting down some good laps. But yeah, I just needed a caution there at the end.
Following up on that, because if it would have been a single file restart, did you feel like that could have been your best chance to take the lead from Patrick if that was a situation?
Yeah, I think with a single file restart, I would have been, if I got a decent restart, I think I could. Well, looking at our lap times, I was a little bit quicker than he was at the end. So, but catching a guy's one thing and passing him's another. And on this track, it's tough to pass with these short sliders. So, yeah, I felt like I had a really fast car, but if I would have been able to get up and get around him if I had a caution, that I just don't know.
A great run for you. Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Hey, I got to thank all the guys at the Krite Sim Racing team. We had quite a few of us out here tonight. I got to thank all of my parents and grandparents watching and supporting. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at A&J Custom Creations. I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. Got the best popcorn out there. And don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on.
Alrighty, sounds good. We'll let you go. Great job tonight. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Marty.
Blake Chapman, your second place finisher. And now we go to victory lane to talk with your winner, Patrick Spangler. Patrick, I got to begin the final laps with the lap traffic. You made it look easy out there, but at the same time, how tough was it?
Well, as you can see, there's a razor thin edge because in the heat race, I couldn't stay out of the wall. I went back to this track hasn't been on any official yet, so nobody has any setups that they're selling for it. So it's all who can adapt an old setup to this track or build a setup for the track. So that's why I think there was the greatest disparity tonight. But went back to an old setup I used earlier this season where I put a really low gear in it, or tall gear in it, I guess, because I was running really short gear in the heat race. And I think I was just getting too much wheel spin and over driving it. So I feel like that really helped out and smoothed it out. And those last couple laps, there was a few times there wasn't very much gap in between me and the wall and the guy below me. So just happy to survive there and make it look easy. But that was probably as tough as Port Royal is around the top because it was very slick tonight.
Leading before the first yellow, is that really important considering, you could fire on restarts, catch the other guy sleeping, and then at the same time, it's kind of tough to pass for the lead at the same time after restarts?
Yeah, because you never know when you're just going to get caution after caution. And, I mean, I've been burned when I'm the leader, but it's pretty tough to catch the leader once they get that first start, and then especially if it's just top dominant like that. You're going to have to really consistently hit the laps and then pull a big Hail Mary on them. So, I was super happy to get Ross in turn one on the high side and then get around, I forget who's on the inside, I think Barker's on the inside, and then control the starts. But then I didn't know where to go because I took the top on the first restart, and I knew Blake's usually pretty conservative, went through a Hail Mary in there. And I saw he could have because he was right beside me going turn one, and then I had Goldner behind me who I figured would throw the Hail Mary, so I took the bottom, and I just took the top on after that.
Next week, going back to one of your home tracks in Williams Grove, how you feeling going on in?
I usually like Williams Grove. Depends if I can keep out of the inside tires in 3 and 4, but who knows on the new tire build? I don't know if I ran there since then. Maybe one race last season, but the track's changed so differently, and hopefully we just keep up the momentum.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Shout out to Roger from the league, you for the awesome broadcast each week. Dad, don't go back home watching. Train Wheels Racing and Tyler building setups. Rough day for Brandon and Tyler tonight. But hopefully we can rebound next week at Williams Grove.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you go, man. Congratulations. 3rd win of the season in Renegades Comp.
Thanks.
Patrick Spangler in victory lane tonight at Kokomo, his 3rd win of the season. All right, folks. You know, we had Dean on earlier tonight, so why don't we do it, because we know he misses Dean. It's time for a little bit of buddy time. Gotta show him, because, you know, he misses Dean, and these past few weeks Dean's been away in Charlotte. So, all right, let's end things off here tonight, guys. Final thoughts. We'll begin with you, Brandon.
It's another bull ring. You know, you get what you get, but it's a lot of fun watching. A little bit of fun racing as well. Can't wait to go to Williams Grove next week, I believe is what you said, and that is statistically in coast to coast my best track. So I am looking forward to it.
Awesome. Zach?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to going to Williams Grove. That's my hometown track. I know it's not a real fun one, but I mean, you gotta be good there to run the bottom and not get into the wall. I enjoy running there. But all in all, tonight, pretty good night of racing. I think there, Patrick hit the nail right on the head. I think the fact that iRacing isn't running at Kokomo this year, and the fact that nobody's selling setups for Kokomo, really opened the field. Because I mean, I took a Lincoln setup from VRS and just tweaked some gears and different things, and I mean, I felt pretty good. So it definitely opened up the door tonight, and you could get lucky if you hit a home run with a setup.
Well, with that being said, we are going to sign off here for tonight. Thanks for joining us this evening on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Slide Job Racing Network. On behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League, our drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Kramer, and their fine group of admins, on behalf of Zach Chapman and Brandon Dittmer, Marty Scala signing off. Congrats to your winners tonight, Stephen Goldner and Patrick Spangler. So long.